YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys a lot for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel, for following me on Facebook and all of my other social and media handles. I really appreciate you guys a whole lot. So guys, if you are new to my channel, you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate if you would hit on the subscribe button and the notification bell just on the side to get an update whenever I upload a new video. That's just like basically the essence of that bell. So guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a trendy and corset gown with hourglass and sleeve. Yeah, so you could see the picture up there. So I really find this style fascinating, so I decided to make one and then share it with you guys. So on this class, we're not going to be making use of the already made and corset cup, so we're going to be making our own and corset cup, and we're going to be using it for this class. So it's really simple, fast and quick. So I'm just going to go straight and to the point. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be making use of, and then these are some of the materials. So I'm just going to explain to you as we go along. So this is wording, and then this is strong interfacing that we're going to use, and then I have a piece of satin here, and then some lace and fabric that I'm going to use to cover up and to make the cups. So I'm just going to keep this on the side here, and then we're going to work on our basic bustier and pattern. That's what we're going to use. So some time ago I actually made a video, a more detailed video of how to cut and sew this kind of corset and blouse. So I'm going to drop the link on the description box, so you could check out that video for you to get more details. Because for this class now, we're just going to, you see the pattern, I've already drafted the bustier pattern here, but for that class I started it from scratch. So you will do well to watch it. It will really help you a lot for you to understand more what we are going to be doing. So this is like our regular and bustier pattern, and this pattern that I chose to use for this corset gown, I chose the neck dart pattern. So this is like my half bodice of that pattern. So we're just going to go straight to start imputing a corset, in creating out the cups from this. So this is just like my basic measurement. That's my body frame. So we're just going to start immediately. So the first thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out my yoke from this pattern that I have here. And the yoke that I'm going to be making use of, I'm going to be making use of about 8 inches depth of yoke. So this is like 8 inches here. This is my 8 inches mark. So from this point, I'm just going to come to this point and measure like 1 inch inwards. So this 1 inch is just like to help me create like a neck line. You understand? So I'm just going to just make a little curve here like this. See what I'm doing? So I'm just creating like a curve. So I'm going to come to this 8 inches line. I'm going to go up by half an inch. This half an inch, you can decide to make it straight. You can decide to do a straight yoke. So it depends on what you want. So this I'm just going to do like this. I'm linking it to my armhole point. So this is my bust line, this is my under bust line, and then this is the half cut. So I'm just linking the neckline. I'm just linking it I just want to cut out a yoke. You understand? So I'm just going to so I'll cut out this yoke before we start creating out the cups. So I'll cut out my armhole now. This is the armhole. This is for the front pattern. This is for the front pattern. So the back pattern is just going to be a regular basic bodice and back pattern. But in order not to confuse you, I can just place this and then cut out my back piece for you in order for you to understand more. So I'm just going to take this back and then I'll place it like this, so for you to understand. You see what I'm trying to do? So I'm going to cut out the back piece. So this is like the armhole for the back. So when I'm transferring to my fabric, I'll cut out the allowance. So this point like this, and then I'm just going to cut. I'm doing this because I don't want to start creating out the back from scratch. So I'm just using the same bodice and pattern to cut it out. So this is my back piece. So when I'm cutting out, I'll just add my zipper allowance to it and cut out, and then put my regular waist dart for the back and pattern. So I'm just going to impute those parts that I cut off now. And this is the bust line, the under bust, and then my waist or my half cut. So this is my yoke. So I'm just going to put my yoke on the side. I'll use it and later when I'm cutting, transferring to my fabric. So here is what we have now. So in creating out and the cup for this, what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to come to this point now and then measure 1 inch. You can decide to do half an inch, so it depends on what you want. So I'm just going to measure 1 inch like this from this point, and that 1 inch I'll take it up to the under bust line, and then I'll connect it with my straight and ruler. I'm just going to join them together like this. So this line, that's the center part, that part that used to be in the center of the corset. That's the middle before the cup. So that's just that. I don't want it to be too wide. That's why I'm using 1 inch. So and the next thing that I'm going to do now, before I start creating out my cup, I'm going to cut open my bustier and pattern. So in order for you to understand it very well. So this is like my regular and bustier and pattern. So you see what we have here. This is your regular and bustier. So that is how simple this corset pattern is. And then here is your yoke. In case you are using it and you just want to cut out a bustier with a yoke, here's what you are going to have. So I'm just going to secure this down before I continue. So I'm just going to secure this down. I don't want them to move apart. So that's just. So this I could decide to just leave on the side. So once I'm done, I'll place on this and cut out together. So I'm going to fold this back, the middle piece. So I'm folding it back. So here's what we have now. So we're going to start working. So from this point, so you're going to measure the difference between your bust line and your under bust line. So this is my bust line. That's my bust line, and my under bust line is 3 inches. So I measure out and the 3 inches from this point now. And then this is the right hand side of that's the side of my boobs. And you know it's usually fuller at this side. So this 3.5 inches, I'm just going to take it like this, from this point like this. So from this point, this my bust line point like this. I'm just going to measure like the 3 inches. So this is like the 3 inches up to this point. So here's what I'm just trying to do, that 3 inches. So I measured it from here to here, and then I'm just trying to give a good curve up to this point like this. So you see what I have. So I'm just going to blend it up to this point. And then for this part, I'm not going to use 3 inches for this part because this side is usually fuller. So I'm going to use 3.5. So from this same line like this, I'm just going to come like this. I'll measure 3.5 like this. This is my 3.5. So this 3.5, I'm just going to give it another good curve like this. Understand? Let it just come to this point. And then from this point, it's just going to go up like this. So this is how simple this is going to be. And then this, I will just blend it into this line. I'm just going to blend this into here, and then I'm going to blend this into this point. So if your boobs, for somebody that is bust 40 above, you can decide to do 3.5 inches on this side, and then 4 inches on this other side. So you can just use the simplest and easiest way for you to do this to make it really work. Just use the difference between your bust line and your under bust. That is what we are going to use to curve it, that it will work perfectly well. So once you get the difference on this side, you use it for this middle piece. While the side of your boob, add half an inch to it. So to make it sit properly. So I'm just going to curve this out perfectly well now. So guys, you see we're done. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut out my cup, and then we'll put in our dress and make it. Like I said, it is really simple and easy. Very simple. When I say very simple, I mean very, very simple. I've tried it like 1,000 times. So I'm going to place this like this, and then I'm going to cut out. So this, when cutting on your when transferring to your fabric, I would advise you add extra allowance around to make on the cup that you are going to use to stitch it. So you could do a 1/4 of an inch around it. You could do 1/4 of an inch around it, so the cup will not be too small. So I'm going to label everything now before we continue. I'm going to label it. So I'm going to open this piece up like this, and here is what we have here. And then this is going to be for this. Here is what we have here for this. And then here, so you're just going to make sure, in order not to run into any problems, we're going to label them very well. So this one is going to be 1 1 to make it easy. 1, we know that this one is with this one, and then this 2 is with this 2, this 3 is with this, and 3, that's this side, and then this 4 is with this 4. So once you see 4 4, you know these two are together. 3 3, 2 2, and then 1 1. So that's just about that. So we're done. The next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to transfer to my fabric. I'm going to transfer to my fabric. I'll just place them on top of my fabric and cut out. Okay guys, so I finished and cutting out all of my pieces. So I had to use a paper tape to number them, so I would not mix everything all up. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to go and start stitching. So I've cut out the wording, and then I've cut out all the layers of with the fabric that I'm going to use for the cup. So all I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go and stitch them together to create out the cup, and then I'm going to stitch, and then after I'm creating out the cup, I'm going to fix it to this part, and then I will attach the yoke to it before I cut out the neckline. So I'm just going to go and do that now. I'll show you some parts of it. While the other part you watch on the video and description, on the video link that I drop on the description box. So like I said, it is more, that one is more detailed. All of the stitching are included in that video, so you should please watch it so you understand. So I'm just trying to save out some time in creating out this one, so that is why I'm not going to be showing you all of the stitching. So the stitching is already on the other video. So this is the back piece, so I'm just going to do that now and then come back and show you before we continue again. Okay, so guys, so you could see, so I finished fixing the first cup. So you can decide to do a top stitch. So once I'm done, I'm going to do a top stitch here, from here up here down. So this is the second cup now. So I'm going to start fixing it using the same process. So I'm just going to do that, and then before I fix the yoke on top of it. Okay guys, so you could see, so I finished stitching the cup. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take my yoke like this, and then I'll put a notch on the center, and then I'm going to join it. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll cut out the neckline. So you could cut out any neckline of your choice for it. So I'm just going to do that right now. Okay guys, so you could see I finished joining the upper part to that's the yoke to the down part of the bodice, and then I just cut out a regular V and neckline. So that's just about that. So the next thing now, I'm going to go and stitch the back and the front. So I'll cut out my lining now for the back piece also, and then I'll go and stitch them together, and then come back and cut out the down part of the gown as we proceed. Okay guys, so you could see the top part of our bodice. So I'm done with the top part, so I'm going to cut out the down part now. So for the down part, you can decide to cut out any down part for your gown. You can decide to make it a straight gown, you can decide to make it a long gown, So mine, I'm just going to make it a short and gown. So I'll cut it 180-degree flare, so I don't want it to be too full. So I'm just going to keep this on the side. So I folded my fabric. I'm not going to deliberate on this. So I have how to cut 180-degree flare on my channel already. So I'm just going to use the waist and part. So what I have here, the length of the top is 15 and I want 14 inches. So the length I'm cutting out now is going to be 25 inches, and then the width. So I'm just going to put a mark like this, and then I'll measure out on my waist and measurement. So that's how this kind of flare is done. So I'm going to measure out my waist and measurement. So my waist and measurement, because it's divided into two, if it is a full flare, I'll divide it into 4. So I'm going to use my waist is actually 13 inches. So I'm going to add 2 inches to it for allowance, and then I'll measure the remaining length, which is 25 inches. I'll add 2 inches to it. So I have 27. So I just the salvage of my fabric is 28. So I'm just going to use that. So I'll measure the 28 round. So I'll cut it out, and then I'm going to join it. I'll cut it out and then connect the back. I'll just join the up to the down. Sorry, I'll join the top bodice to the down and bodice, and then I'll come back and cut out the sleeves. Okay guys, so you could see, so I finished fixing the down part, so you can see how it's looking. So like I said, I don't want it to be too big, so it's just cute and perfect, because this corset and short gown is just like a casual outfit. So I don't want it to be too loud, so yet it's casual and yet it's still classy. So this is the top part. So I'm just going to keep it on the side, and then I'm going to cut out the sleeve. So for the sleeve, what I'm going to use in cutting out the sleeve, you could see the picture of the sleeve here is the basic part of the sleeve is just like a straight pencil sleeve for the top, and then 2 flare that were just connected opposite of each other like this. So it's really simple. So I'm going to cut out 2 flare, a bigger flare and a smaller flare. The bigger one will be on the down, and then the smaller one will be on top. So the bigger one will be facing down, and then the smaller one will be facing up, and then we're going to connect it to our sleeve. So I'm going to use my pattern now, which I'm still going to drop the link in case you don't know how to cut a pencil sleeve. I'm going to cut out a straight sleeve like this, and then I'll cut out 2 flare like I told you. So you can decide to cut any sleeve of your choice for this dress. So it depends on what you want. Okay guys, so I finished cutting out my basic sleeve. So these are the flares that I cut out. So these are the linings. So you could decide to iron interfacing like what is on the picture, and interfacing was actually ironed on it, so that is why you can see that it's looking strong. So you can decide to use medium and hard and gum stage. You could iron on your fabric and then on your lining to make it strong and standing. So but mine, I don't want to iron on it. I just want this dress to be as casual as possible. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to insert my round sleeve measurement. So it's actually 10. So I have excess here. So I have excess. So I'm going to cut this. So if you don't want to pleat it, you are just going to make sure you cut it, let it be exactly you know, it's divided into 4. So you are going to cut like 2.5. That's like this, just very tiny piece like this, 2.5 out from here like this. So that's what we're going to join. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to go and sew all of them and turn them, and then come back and show you how we're going to fix it to this parts. Okay guys, so you see I finished stitching all of them. So this is the smaller one, and then the bigger flare, and so my sleeve. So I've joined the side seam to my round and sleeve measurement. So this is really simple. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take this like this, and then I'm putting both of them together. I'm going to stitch them just to secure them together. So after securing it together, I'm going to fix this inside of it, and then after fixing this one, I'm going to raise it up like this, and then I'm going to use hand needle to just do a little tack, so it is facing up So that's just basically how this sleeve was done. So if you want yours, like I said, if you want it firm, you just iron interfacing on it. So I'm just going to do the round stitch now, and then I'll come back and show you how we're going to connect it to the sleeve part. Okay guys, so I finished stitching and turning them. So I'm going to show you how to fix this now. So for this sleeve, this smaller top one, I actually used about 3.5. I used about 4.5 inches. That's the length that I used for this. And then this one, I used about 7 inches, 7.5 inches for this. So if you want yours to be bigger, all you have to do is just increase the width, but you still follow the same process, and then you are still going to achieve the sleeve. Like I said, I don't want mine to be too big. I want this dress as casual as possible, so I could just rock it anyhow without just a casual dress basically. So I'm going to show you how to fix this now. So I finished stitching my other basic sleeve to my round armhole and to my round and sleeve measurement. So here's what we're going to do now. I'm just going to take, and this is from my stitch and part, I'm going to take this one like this. I just want you to pay good attention. So I'm going to, because at the end of the day, you know, it's going to be standing and facing up like this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to stitch it in a way that is not going to our stitch is not going to show. So I'm going to place this like this, and then this one is going to be facing down. So this one that is going to be facing down, I'm going to place it like this. I'm going to place it like this. So at the end of the day, after stitching, this one is going to come down, then this one is going to face up. I'm going to explain it again. So you see what I did? This one, I just took it like this. This is the wrong side. The wrong side is facing the right side of my basic sleeve. So it's just sitting on top like this. And then the bigger flay is going to come like this. The bigger flay, so now I have right side facing here now. So the bigger flay, the right side of my bigger flay, now I'm going to place it on top of this point like this. So I'm going to place it like this on this point like this. So I'm going to stitch. I'm going to use it to stitch it around. So I really hope you got it. So I'm going to stitch it around now. Okay, so you see I finished fixing it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to connect my sleeve to my dress and then put it on my mannequin for you to see. So like I said, if you want this part to be bigger, you can set to just, all you have to do is just increase the width up to like this point, and then it will be looking like exactly what we have on the picture. But mine, I don't want it to be as big as that, so I'm just okay with this. So I'm going to fix it now, and then at the end so you see it is standing, so I'm going to fix it like that now. Okay guys, so you could see this is the final look of our corset trendy corset gown with hourglass sleeve. So you see the sleeve, at the end of the day you just use a needle and thread to tack. So if you, like I said, if you wanted something bigger, you could make this to be as high as this. So it depends on what you want. So at the end of the day, I just use some little applique just to give it a little twist. So guys, the gown, I like the result, how it came out at the end. So guys, if you find this video helpful, I would appreciate if you would hit on the like button to make me know you appreciate what I did. So thank you so much guys. I'll see you in my next video. Like I always say, always push yourself and get creative. So thank you so much. Ciao.